live. You see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the pilgrims were good at Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody. All right, all right. I got to turn the music down because y'all already know Facebook be shutting off my stream and stuff when I play a little jazz. Happy Friday. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to each and every one of y'all. I hope you're doing well on this Friday. Y'all know we had some snow here yesterday in Massachusetts in April. It's supposed to be spring, and we was dealing with snow. Y'all believe that? Do me a favor, rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where y'all are listening in from. Let me get to my chat section here so I can see where we at. I know Houston is in the house. I ain't even got to look. And I know Houston is in the house. Good morning to the Gram. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Twitter Space. They got the video back up on the Twitter Space. They got the video back up. I couldn't have done this yesterday on Instagram because they suspended my going live ability. I posted an audio of a white supremacist threatening to murder me, and they said I was harassing him. They be killing me, bruh. Facebook and Instagram are notorious for that. White supremacists threaten you, all that stuff. You expose them, and then they turn around and restrict your account and say you're the one doing the harassing. Like, really? Come on, bro. All right, do me a favor. Come on, rep your city, rep your town. I got to do my Otis Redding. My typical Friday. I start out with some Coltrane and some Otis. So we gotta get them in here. Talking about Angel Reese today, y'all. Dealing with the Angel Reese backlash. All the folk talking crazy. Emmanuel Acho and all of them talking ridiculous about this young black queen. So tell your friends, tell them we on the air. Let's get it. You know she's waiting, anticipating. All right, who we got in here? I see you, Florida Eastern. What's happening? Raleigh, North Carolina. Houston in the building. Yes. Yeah, I know, BB King. Yeah, I feel you. All right, let me see where we at on the gram. Who's on here? Sentimental. I see you, California. I see you, Cali. I see you up in the building. In care. Easier. All right, I gotta share my Facebook live to my groups. Forgot to do that. Try a little tenderness. Squeeze her, never leave her. Try a little tenderness. Keenan Salter, my frat brother, what's going on, fraternal? Nah, nah, nah. Ha! Come on, y'all. Let's get it. All right, let me throw the music back up for y'all. Here we go. Let's get it. The being in the road would be the end of the road if you refuse to change. Reach a little higher, reach a little higher. Rep your city, rep your town. Let's go. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Come on, don't stop. The essence of life is growth. But the essence of growth is change. The being in the road will be the end of the road. If you refuse to change. Your life will never change until you get disgusted with where you are. Whatever you don't hate is what you tolerate. Whatever you don't hate is what you tolerate. For it is your daily routine that determines your success or failure in life. It's the choices that you have made up until this point that will determine the rest of your life. So break the cycle that doing enough is simply good enough. You only get out what you put in, so don't settle for the crumbs when you can have the whole loaf. So push yourself. You can have the whole loaf, y'all. Come on. Reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on. Reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Go a little further. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Yes. So you gotta break the routine of trying to beat the system. Manipulators will always try to bypass the process for the quick progress. There are no shortcuts to success. No shortcuts, y'all. No elevators to the top. No elevators. At a time. You got to break the routine of allowing others to get into your head and control who you are and where you're going. You see, when you're about the positive, you're going to always have haters. Always have haters. Don't let your haters push you down. 90.7 WTCC. Good morning and welcome to the spoken word. I'm sorry, to the Black Love Experience. I'm stuck on Monday. Maybe it was the snow that came on Thursday. Welcome to the Black Love Experience. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Good morning. Welcome to the end of the week. Welcome to the weekend. Yes. Yeah, Brothers Night tonight. Yeah. We haven't had one in a while, so I get to hang out with my bros. But listen, it's good to be with y'all on another Friday morning. A shout out to the one, the only, the legend, State Rep Ben Swan, the host of this show for many, many decades. Um, um, on his shoulders I stand. And welcome to each and every one of you. Listen, tell a friend, tell somebody. Bishop is on the air right now. Talking Angel Reese today. Talking Angel Reese. We're talking about all the backlash she got after her post-game interview after they lost to Iowa in the Elite Eight. Particularly the take of sports analysts Emmanuel Acho and others who missed the complete point. I mean, just missed the whole point. We're going to talk about that. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781 is the number here if you want to chime in on the conversation. Welcome to those all across the Pioneer Valley who are tuned in to the program today. And welcome to all of those who are tuned in over the internet in the various spaces, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Welcome to each and every one of you. Do me a favor.
Tell a friend, tell somebody. Bishop is on the air right now. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Um, and let's get ready to get in on this conversation. All right. Once again, 413-736-2781. Don't y'all go nowhere. We'll be right back. For it is your daily routine that determines your success or failure in life. It's the choices that you have made.
You say you sold out because black women are loud and crass. What? And your precious white woman is the epitome of class? Are you so blind that you cannot see? That pale girl child ain't got nothing on me. For hundreds of years we have stood by your side, accepted your flaws and allowed you your pride, bore your children and cleaned up your mess, satisfied your lust and always settled for less. We have stayed in the background and allowed you to lead, trusting in your strength and ability to succeed, never getting the praise and credit we deserve, but having the courage, the will, and the nerve, for being the backbone that has kept it together for you and our children in all kinds of weather. And now suddenly you say we're not good enough for you. We forced you to sell out because of the things we do. Well, where was that white woman when that white man you hate was cracking the whip? The boardroom, the warehouse, and on the slave ship. She stood by his side and didn't say a word, waiting for her own chance to rule and be heard. And now it's her you turn to and treat like a queen? And me and my sisters you choose to demean? Well, hold up, wait a minute, and stop the damn bus. Because there are a few things I need to remind you about us. Listen up. A more beautiful creature God never made than an African woman, no matter her shade. High, yellow, red bone, or cocoa brown, we are more than worthy of wearing a crown. Ebony, mocha, or black as the night. It is we who have always shared in your plight. We are passionate, spiritual, loving, and kind. A more generous heart you'll never find than the one that beats inside the body of a Nubian queen, the hardest working, loving, giving woman you've ever seen. For we give and forgive until there's little left. Then we're forced to put up our guard to avoid your theft. The theft of our hearts and our trust, the very nature of our soul, by our so-called brothers who are just playing a role. And you wonder why some of us act as we do? Take a look in the mirror, because the answer is you. It's not enough that the white man has always tried to keep us down, but our own men act as though they'd love to see us drown. And white women have never invited us to join their equal rights struggle. So we're out here alone with a million things we juggle, raising the children that black men leave behind, and dealing with the racism of the daily corporate grind. Damn, it's no wonder some of us are loud. Hell, we're just trying to be heard. In a world where everyone, including our men, ignore our every word. Where are the brothers who understand a black woman's worth? Right here, I got who will protect and stand by us, for we are the salt of this earth. We birthed you, raised you, and showered you with love. It was we who taught you to love your creator above. We gave you all we had and taught you to be men. Open your eyes, it is us, your black sisters. Not Bo Derek's kind. Rate a perfect 10. And one final word for the sellout to claim to be brothers. When you turn your back on us, you disrespect your mothers. Did you hear that? This is a response to the sellout. 413-736-2781. That's a response to the sellout. That's Rhonda Swan. Y'all know who y'all is. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781 is the number here. The Black Love Experience. Another Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the program.
So the NCAA tourney is in full effect. Of course, March Madness, as it is every March. Um, and we've been watching intently on both the women's and the men's side. Um, and there's been some great games, great things happening. And of course, folk were watching very intently at the Iowa LSU game, mainly because it was looked at as a rematch of last year's NCAA women's championship, where um, of course LSU came out as the victor and beat Iowa. Um, and of course, there was some commentary that ensued after that game across America. Um, Iowa um, was heavily rooted on by most of white America, and LSU by black folks. And there was a deep division in the nation. Um, and when the sisters from LSU won, it seems to me that always when I'm on the radio, it seems to me that white America lost their minds. Um, I'm sorry, Instagram, it kind of messed you up a little bit. Um, so I got it on Do Not Disturb now. Um, um, and Angel Reese and her teammates were castigated by many in the white community. Um, Angel kind of talked about that experience in her post game interview after they lost to Iowa in the Elite Eight. I'm going to share the things that she said about that. But you all will remember last year, in the wake of that game, First Lady Jill Biden. It's traditional that the national champion gets invited to the White House. Jill Biden suggested both teams should get invited to the White House. So, they wanted to break with tradition. Normally, it's just the winning team, but since these black girls beat, you know, these white girls from Iowa, we ought to invite Iowa anyway. Is what Jill Biden said. Of course, people dragged her because of that, and rightfully so, because it was racist. Whether she admits it or not, whether people want to admit it or not, because I promise you, had Iowa won the national championship, Jill Biden would not have said we need to invite LSU too. She wouldn't have said that. She wouldn't have said that. Since that time, those young ladies have been ostracized, ridiculed, been made into internet memes. And I see my cousin, Dr. Gary Whitaker, on Instagram. I'm on WTCC FM because, matter of fact, I got to get you. I saw somebody sent me your interview. Anyway, um, um, Angel Reese has taken the brunt of it. Grown white men have made death threats. Imagine being so triggered by a sporting event that you threaten to murder a 20-year-old because your team got beat. You threatened, and it wasn't even most of their team. Most of them didn't. They rooted for Iowa, um, um, because of the racial dynamic. And so, imagine threatening to murder a 20-year-old student athlete. What kind of sickness is that? And so when I say things like whiteness is an unrelenting demonic force of evil, they get upset. They say I'm a racist and I'm categorizing all white people. I didn't say white people. I said whiteness, the construct, the concept of whiteness, of white superiority, of white supremacy, of white manifest destiny is an unrelenting demonic force of evil. That's what causes white men to call and make death threats against a 20-year-old black woman. Yeah. Yeah. I can take it. I got a couple death threats just in the last week. Since Easter, since resurrection. You know why they gave me death threats? Yeah, I might play one of them for you. You know why? I posted a picture of a black Jesus. This is what we mean by white fragility. Angel Reese wins a basketball game and y'all threaten to murder her. I post a picture of a black Jesus with the caption on Resurrection Sunday, he is risen. Hashtag Resurrection Sunday. And all of a sudden, I start getting calls from all over the country threatening to murder me because of black Jesus. This is the violence, the depravity, the wickedness, the demonic force of whiteness. Okay. So, this young lady having to deal for the last year simply because she won a national championship, having to deal with death threats, being threatened, having to deal with being sexualized. Literally, white men using artificial intelligence to make pornographic videos using the image of Angel Reese and posting them on the internet. This is the sickness of these folks. Okay? This is what they were doing. Um, and so in the wake of playing the last game of her college career, of course, she knew that she would be declaring for the WNBA. So, in the wake of the emotional moment of playing in her last college game and being asked in the post game interview about the negatives that she has had to face, she talked about not the game, not losing the game. She specifically talked about what has happened in the year since she won the national championship. She specifically mentioned that she has received death threats. She specifically mentioned that she's been threatened, that she's been sexualized. She specifically mentioned all of these things, and she was emotional while talking about it. She was emotional while talking about it. She wasn't being a sore loser. She wasn't complaining about the game. She didn't say the refs, threw the game for us. She made no complaints whatsoever about the game. And so on Tuesday on Fox Sports, Um, Emmanuel Acho, a sports analyst, former NFL player, gave his analysis about her emotional remarks during the post game press conference. They had just lost by 7 points to Iowa. And, you know, when she was talking about being sharply criticized online and getting death threats and all that kind of stuff, this is what Acho said. And I'm going to try to pull up his audio so you can hear directly from him what he said. But he said, and this is what really killed me, was that he said that he was giving a gender neutral, racially indifferent take. Gender neutral. Now, think about this for a minute. This sister was talking about everything that she had gone through as a black woman. So my question is, how does this sister talk about everything that she has gone through as a black woman? And you fix your mouth to say you're going to give a gender neutral, racially indifferent take. How, how do you talk about my experience as a black man from a racially indifferent perspective? How do you talk about any black person's experience in these yet to be United States of America from a racially indifferent perspective? Like, what in the hamburger was Acho even talking about? And how do you talk about the experience of a black woman from a gender neutral perspective when the way she is viewed in this nation, the way she is interpreted in this nation, the way she is treated in this nation is all based upon her gender and her race? Let's just be honest about that. Y'all can start all this colorblind stuff all you want. There ain't no color blindness in America. There ain't no color blindness in America. People see you. White America sees you and they determine how they're going to treat you based upon who you are. Let's just keep it a buck. And anybody black who's listening to me will have to admit, if you're being honest, that you know there are times that you have experienced certain things in your life that you know would have went differently if you were not black. You know they would have gone differently if you were not black. Now, somebody in the comment section ought to put an amen in there because I'm preaching real good right now. You know the way you were handled at that store, at that restaurant, at the concert, in traffic, by the police, on your job, wherever. You know that you have, and you have multiple experiences like that, not just one. You have multiple experiences that you know that if you were not black, you would have been treated entirely differently because you saw your colleagues treated differently in the same scenario. So, how in the world does Acho get off talking about, I'm going to give a racially indifferent, gender neutral perspective? How, how do you do that? How, and then and then how do you do it when She specifically was telling you her experience as a black woman. How do you just ignore what this woman said at the press conference about what she experienced, and we know why she experienced it, and then you fix your face to say, I'm gonna give this gender neutral, uh racially indifferent perspective. So then he says, you know, you can't be the big bad wolf. And this is what killed me. And I was debating somebody on my Instagram page because I said, brother, you can't, because he came out and thanked the people who reprimanded him, but he never apologized to Angel Reese. And I said, you owe her an apology. You can't call this black woman uh 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 uh, uh, Courage the Cowardly Dog, and then think saying thank you to other people who reprimanded you is good enough, but you don't address her. So this brother tried to argue with me and say he didn't call her a dog. Well, you compared her to a dog, you insinuated, you used a dog as an analogy. I don't care. You're splitting hairs. He said, you can't be the big bad wolf, but then cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. If you want to act grown, these are his words. If you want to act grown, insinuating that she's not grown. If you want to act grown, which she has, if you want to get paid like you're grown, like she don't deserve to get paid, which you are, if you want to talk to grown folks like you're grown, which you did, then post game when you take an L, you got to take it on the chin. And then he said that what frustrated him was when you want to be the villain, but you want to hope for sympathy like a hero. Now let's just keep it a buck. Angel Reese never tried to portray herself as the villain. That was the white media that did that. That was the white media that did that. Angel Reese only operated in the spirit of a competitor on the basketball court. She didn't do anything any different than anybody else does. And as a former ball player myself, we talk smack on the basketball court. We talk junk to each other. It ain't personal. It ain't never personal. But we talk trash. That's part of the game. If you don't know that, it's because you ain't never played the game. You talk smack to your bestest of friends on the basketball court, all that stuff go away. I got an elder in my church. He might be listening now, Elder Mike Jones. We were fierce competitors on the basketball court. Now, we brothers off the court, but we enemies on the court. And we talk trash on the court. Okay? I talk trash to my own blood brothers on the court. That's part of the game. So when Caitlin Clark talks trash, she's a fierce competitor. You know, all the accolades about how great a competitor, how spirited she is, how passionate she is about the game. But then when Angel Reese does the same thing, she's a villain. She's disrespectful. She's a poor sportsman. That's the media that painted that picture, that used that double standard to paint her in a different light than they painted the white girl who did the same thing. Now, I know y'all listening on the radio can't see my gestures, but y'all who are on social media, y'all remember when Caitlin Clark did this? You can't see me, the hand gesture in the Elite Eight when she was playing. Oh, that was just being competitive. Then when Angel Reese did the same hand gesture to Caitlin Clark, white folks lost their minds. She was the worst thing since the bubonic plague. a complete double standard. So Acho gets on and parrots the narrative of white supremacists. You want to play the victim? She ain't never said she was the victim, bruh. The white media who you work for, that's who said she was the villain. Just keep it a buck. That's who called her the villain. That's who painted her as the villain. And as Michael Barnes said, she rolled with it. She said, "Listen, if this is the way y'all gonna play me, I'm gonna embrace it, and I'm gonna use it to my advantage." But she never tried to make herself into a villain. And oftentimes, the white media tries to make us into the villain. She never said she was the big bad wolf. And then when a black woman gets emotional about being threatened, about people threatening to murder her, and all the hell she's been through, she got a right to cry if she feels like it. And how dare you to tell her to suck it up and take the L on the chin? Let me play his foolishness.
Gender neutral, racially indifferent take. Now, if you want to say, well, Acho, cater your take based upon gender, Acho, cater your take based upon race, I will understand that. But I'm about to give a gender neutral, racially indifferent take. Angel Reese, you can't be the big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Because if you want to act grown, which she has, if you want to get paid like you grown, which you are, if you want to talk to grown folks like you grown, which you did post game when you told a coach for an opposing team, watch your mouth. If you want to tell people get your money up, then post game when you take an L, you just got to take it on the chin. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you have self-proclaimed to be the villain. Shout out to you, because you were the second best basketball player on the court, and it was not close. Outside of Caitlin Clark, it was you. 17 and 20. Dog. Showed up. Biggest game, second biggest game of your career. Absolute dog. But I'm about to give
So yeah. Y'all heard it. So and then of course the other problem I have is the brothers who's sitting aside. Nobody challenged him. Nobody challenged him. I mean, LaShawn McCoy, James Jones. Yeah. 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 Just agreeing. And McCoy even had the nerve to say that Reese shouldn't have cried, saying she should have stood 10 toes down. I mean, bro, so you got three brothers and a white dude on here giving this sister the business and completely ignoring the context of what she was emotional about. Completely ignoring the context of what caused her as she reflected on the last year during her last college basketball game, as she reflected, completely ignoring what she was emotional about. How do you do that? I mean, really, seriously, how do you do that? How do you just ignore that and pretend that, it ain't what it is? So then he comes back, and let me play this for you. He comes back and gives a non-apology apology. He never addresses Angel Reese, never apologizes to her, never admits he's wrong. He just thanks the people who reprimanded him respectfully, and shouts out a few people who nicely reprimanded him. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
To everyone who has respectfully reprimanded me, and offered brilliant opinions on the Angel Reese conversation. I do not believe there is any one way to think about things, but thank you to the Ryan Clarks, the Essence Atkinses, the Bosma St. John's, the Trellas, the different individuals who is publicly and privately just giving me good wisdom, good feedback, good discernment. I understand. I think life is all about understanding. And so I just want to applaud those publicly, you watching, and those privately who have respectfully, the operative word there being respectfully, who have respectfully reprimanded me. Matt Barnes, incredibly wise words. So I thank all of you all for that. I do not stand on a hill saying that I am right and you are wrong. I simply stand on a place saying, hey, this is what I believe. What do you believe? Let's listen to one another and construct a collective belief. So love to everybody who's respectfully reprimanded me, and I appreciate it so very much. Thank you all for that.
Let's construct collective beliefs. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Let's construct collective beliefs. I understand. Those of you who reprimanded me, I understand. So in essence, what he was saying was, I'm not taking back nothing I said. I'm not going to apologize to this sister. I'm just going to acknowledge that y'all reprimanded me, and I'm going to pretend to have a level of humility so y'all stop dragging me. Never addressed Angel. Never once addressed the disrespect that he gave to that young lady. You see, I'm a father. I got 5 daughters, and I have 11 granddaughters. 11 out of my 15 grandchildren are girls. My oldest of who just turned 16, who's a ball player herself. And I can't imagine what I would feel like if somebody told one of my daughters or granddaughters who were emotional about racist white men making death threats, sexualizing them on the internet, and them having to go through the trauma of sexual violence and violent threats to suck it up and take it on the chin. I'm like, Negro, what is wrong with you? Now, I wonder what he would feel like if that was his 21-year-old daughter. And some brother was telling her, you know, pull up your britches and take it on the chin, take the L and shut up. See, people like Camacho, like Acho, he ain't nothing like Camacho. People like Acho obviously don't know the emotional trauma of what it's like to deal with getting death threats and things like that. Even if I heard somebody say, yeah, well, most of the death threats ain't real. You don't know what's real and what's not real in this country because there's crazy people in this nation. And you take everyone serious. Listen, I've been in conversation all week long with the FBI, the state police, the district attorney, because of death threats that I've been getting because white folks can't handle a picture of a black Jesus. And I would never discount them or not take them seriously because you don't know what crazy people will do. So obviously, Acho has never had to deal with that experience. And this woman has had to deal with this experience constantly for the last year, and your response to her is suck it up. Man, are you serious? You can't be serious. Let's listen to Angel Reese's words so we understand exactly what she was saying.
So much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I just try to stay strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want them to always just know, like, I'm still a human. Like, all this has happened since I won the national championship. And I said the other day, I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks. But I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything. And I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some.
Did you hear what this sister said? I haven't had peace since I won the national championship because of the throng of death threats and attacks and all of that. I haven't had peace in the last year. This is what she was talking about, Brother Acho. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, Bishop, you know, it could be that statement could have been that performance could have been lesson learned in the past. So, I mean, what he did, he contextualized it. So, you know, because the Bible says when you say something, David said again, David sat on top of the mountain and yelled it out. So what he did, he contextualized the situation and he made the same statements or the comments, or he contextualized it in a way that if it's another race, he could say the same thing and, you know, I mean, not get bombarded again.
Well, it wasn't another race. It was a black woman. And you can't give a racially indifferent take on the experience of a black woman. Period. 413-736-2781. She says she has not had peace since she won a national championship. That ought to be a happy time. But instead she's bombarded with death. And in case you want to know what they sound like, how you have to deal with them and take it on the chin and all that. Here's one that I got just the other day because of Black Jesus.
Hey, Albert, first of all, I'm going to kill all your sons, your daughters, then I'm going to kill the rest of your family, then I'm going to kill you, you fucking dumb nigger, killing niggers.
Yeah, so I'm going to kill your sons, I'm going to kill your daughters, I'm going to kill the rest of your family, and I'm going to kill you, you dumb nigger. How, you know, and I've gotten these types of threats for a couple of decades. How do you think a 20-year-old young lady deals with being bombarded with threats like that on a regular basis just because she's who she is? These are all the things Acho and all of those criticizing Angel Reese have not taken into consideration, or they're being completely indifferent about. Which I suggest to you again, if that was his daughter, his sister, his loved one, maybe he wouldn't be so indifferent about it. Good morning, caller.
Yeah. Hey, Bishop.
Brother, you on your call limit, man. You can't. I'm sorry. We got to limit you today, bro. We got to limit you today, bro. So you know that's my thing, and it wouldn't be so bad if it was like a one-time thing. He was off code. He apologized. He made it right. No, he's doubling down. He's giving false humility, and it's not the first time. I mean, he has said many problematic things like this. And then he's even boasted about the fact that, Well, both of my parents are Nigerian. They were born in Nigeria, so I don't have the generational trauma that black people in America have. So I can speak to white audiences from a different perspective than the average black person can, and yada yada. So he's bragging about how when I'm in the, this is what he says, when I'm in the room with white folks and I hear them say black people are making everything about race, I understand what they're saying. Negro, what? 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 Yeah, because me and my family have not had to deal with that. So I understand what white people are saying. Why y'all niggas always talking about race? These are Acho's words. So that's why he can have the audacity to say, I'm going to give a racially indifferent take. Because he rolls in the room with white folks at Fox. So I'm going to give a racially indifferent. Ain't no racially indifferent take in America. How do you, in a nation that was founded on racial violence, on the genocide of indigenous people, in a nation that was founded on the enslavement of Africans, that was built on the free labor of enslaved Africans and their descendants, who were enslaved, raped, lynched, brutalized, dehumanized, ostracized, segregated, mass incarcerated, racially profiled, redlined, extrajudiciously murdered, and the list goes on. In a nation that has been built on racism that was codified into law to ensure the supremacy of white folks, in a nation that has the blood of 30 million indigenous people on its hands, in a nation that has the blood of 55 million Africans and their descendants on its hands, in a nation that has the blood of hundreds of thousands of Asians for dropping bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki on its hands, in a nation that is hands are dripping with the blood of non-white people for the sake of propping up the false supremacy of white people. How the hamburger do you ever have a racially indifferent take on anything that happens in America? How do you do that? Unless you're just ignorant. There is no such thing, which is why it's so ridiculous about them trying to ban the teaching of certain aspects of American history from the schools. We don't want them to know that there were Jim Crow laws. We don't want them to know that black folks were lynched. We don't want them to know any of these things. That's what Acho sound like. I'm gonna give a racially indifferent take on this. I'm gonna pull race out of the equation. How do you pull race out of an issue that was precipitated because of race? How do you do that? Because you notice Caitlin Clark ain't doing no interviews about how she's been threatened, how people been threatening to murder her. You don't see no internet porn made by artificial intelligence floating around the internet on Caitlin Clark. If it ain't about race, how come she ain't going through that? That man knows good and well that race had everything to do with it. Race and gender. And that's the other thing. If she was a man, it wouldn't have happened to her either. So ain't no such thing as a racially indifferent, gender neutral perspective on what Angel Reese has been through. That's foolery. Let's just keep it a buck. So listen, if you're looking for a place to worship, check us out at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ. We're at 35 Alden Street in the city of Springfield, Massachusetts. 11 o'clock a.m. on Sunday. As always, there'll be prayer, praise, and preaching. We're building better tomorrows by changing lives today, and we would love to see you in the place. All right? Love to see you visiting with us, because it's just like that. I don't know what I just did with something I'm looking for, but anyway. So yeah, check us out at Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ. Check me out on Monday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. I'll be back with the spoken word. Coming up next here on WTCC is mid-morning jazz, great black music with the one and only Mr. Don Felton. He's going to make it smooth. He's going to make it personal. So don't you touch that dial. Keep it locked right here on 90.7 FM. I'm out of here, y'all. Thank God it's Friday. It's the weekend. Y'all have a blessed weekend. And until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you, and so do I. Peace and blessings. How you feel? Say his name.